Hello everyone! Today I want to tell about such a metal as tin. In the periodic table of chemical elements, tin is the 14th group among the so-called base metals. This metal was known back in the 4th millennium BC. Due to the instability, the price of tin was high. During the Bronze Age, tin was considered to be a strategic metal, as the tin bronze obtained from it is much stronger than pure copper. Tin is obtained from the minerals of cassiterite, i.e. tin dioxide from stannite, that is tin sulfide. In its pure form, tin is a shiny soft metal with a yellowish tinge. Due to the tin oxide covering it, the density of this metal is slightly less than that of lead, the melting point being 232 degrees Celsius. The small temperature of melting tin makes it possible to cast different shapes and figures from it. As an example, the well-known tin solders. And plus, tin is not toxic as lead. Also, if you bend an ingot of a very pure tin, you can hear an interesting crunch caused by deformation of crystals inside the metal. The same musical property can also be found in ingots of pure zinc and indium. They could probably start a band together. However, metallic tin, in contrast to other metals, has one unique property called polymorphism. The metal that I am holding in my hand is called beta form of tin, or also white tin. If this piece of tin is then put into a cold place, the temperature of which is below 15 degrees Celsius, then eventually the white tin will begin to shift into its gray form, the so-called alpha form of tin. In this video, courtesy of the website periodictable.ru, you can observe the process of the transition from white tin to gray. Since gray tin has a completely different crystal structure, similar to the structure of a diamond, any product made of white tin with this transformation will simply fall apart into pieces. This effect is also called the tin plaque. This is exactly what happened with the many collections of tin soldiers due to the improper storage. Also, some historians point to the tin plague as one of the circumstances of the Napoleon army defeat. Severe frosts led to the transformation of tin buttons on the uniforms of soldiers into powder. From the chemical point of view, tin is a low-activity metal that reacts poorly with dilute acids. But when reacting with aqua regia, tin begins to dissolve actively, oxidizing to tin tetrachloride, which is used, for example, in the production of soap. At temperatures above 115 degrees Celsius, tin begins to gradually oxidize in air, but when it's heated to a temperature of about 1000 degrees Celsius, tin starts burning in air, forming tin dioxide. From the tin compounds, tin chloride 2 is the one most frequently found. We can also carry out a couple of very beautiful experiments with it. I dissolve tin chloride in a 10% sulfuric acid to prevent the hydrolysis of tin chloride in water. Then I pour the solution into a petri dish and attach the electrodes to the edges of the cup. Now, with the help of the adapter, I am passing through the solution a constant current of 1 amperes and a voltage of 6 volts. At the same time begins the process of reduction of tin chloride to beautiful tin crystals as a cathode, and as the anode, tin is oxidized to tin dioxide. Tin crystals look very beautiful, especially in macro photography. By the way, if you change the polarity, the newly formed tin crystals will begin to dissolve and the growth of new crystals will happen from a negatively charged electrode, i.e. the cathode. Such a method of reducing tin under the influence of electricity is used in the production of tin cans. If you add a piece of zinc to the solution of tin chloride, it will begin to get covered with a beautiful tin crystals. Zinc here will be oxidized to zinc chloride, and tin will be reduced to metal. This results in beautiful tin hendehoog. At the present times, Tin is used mainly as safe, non-toxic, corrosion-resistant coating in pure form, or in alloys with other metals. In ordinary life, we can find tin in the composition of solder. Also, tin here comes as mixture with other metals, mainly with lead. The most important alloy of tin is bronze, with copper. Also, tin is an important alloying component in the production of structural alloys of titanium. The tin disulfide is used in the composition of paints imitating gilding. By the way, in recent years, because of the introduction of lead-free solder in electronics, there is now a massive problem. It also called the tin whiskers. That is the formation of long and thin tin crystals grown out of a solder, which in some bores is almost pure tin. These tin whiskers can grow to a decent size, resulting in a short circuit and equipment failure. This effect has already led to a number of failures in electronics, including a complete breakdown of orbiting satellites. The exact cause of this effect has not yet been figured out. However, it can be prevented by the addition of bismuth, antimony, or other low-melting metals to the solder. Now you know a little bit more about one of the other metals. If you would like to support the continuous production of science videos like this one, please support channel on Patreon, link in the video description. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel to see many more new and interesting